This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone. So in today's video, we will try to understand how to crack NEET 2024 exam. Okay, so in this video, we will focus on first what is the overview of this exam, then the pattern of the exam, the marking scheme, then preparation tips and tricks, and also on the particular exam day, how to deal the situation. On that also, we will see some useful tips. Okay, so let's start. So NEET, as we see here, it is mentioned what is the full form: National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test. Okay, so if you consider the first letter, we will get NEET. Okay, this is National Competitive Exam, and that is conducted for medical undergraduates. That is the purpose, so that they can seek admission to top medical institutes in the country. That is the purpose of this exam. Now from 2020 onwards, this is the only medical entrance exam required for admission to AIIMS and JIPMER institution. Now AIIMS is All India Institute of Medical Sciences and JIPMER is Jawaharlal Institutes of Postgraduate Medical Education and Research. And previously this exam, it is known as by different name, that is replacing the previously existing system of several entrance exam, and mainly it is talking about AIPMT. That is a previously known exam, that is the same type of exam for NET, and the full form of this exam is All India Pre-Medical Test. But nowadays from 2020 onwards, we have only one exam, common exam, National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, NEET. Fine. So it has replaced AIPMT. Now NEET UG 2024, it is to be held on 5th May 2024. But still I will request the candidates that they should also check NEET exam date for this year on the official website once again, so that in the last minute, if there is some changes occurring due to some reason, they can get the latest information. Okay, so this official website should be used by them. So in this table you can see the exam overview. So the full form, as we already know, but what is the organizing body for this exam? That is National Testing Agency, in short NTA, and this is obviously national level. If we talk about duration of this exam, it starts from 2 p.m. up to 5:20 p.m. So total hour, if we see hour and minute, 3 hours 20 minutes. In terms of minutes, it will be 200 minutes. Now the courses in which we can get admission through this exam, that you can see in this table. And if we consider the colleges, it is basically for all the medical colleges that are present in India. Now mode of this exam is offline mode. Unlike JEE, now in this case it is offline, and that is basically OMR sheet. So you have to encircle all the dots that you will get in the OMR sheet. Probably all of you know, you have already previous idea about the OMR sheet. Okay, so this is the exam overview. Fine. Now there will be a total of 200 MCQs, but we don't have to answer all of them. So out of which students are required to answer only 180 MCQs. Okay, so 20 questions that will be extra. Now that is whatever I'm talking about, that is for physics, chemistry, geology, botany all together. So here you can see all the subjects that will be present here. Though our focus is mainly on chemistry, but as there will be all the subjects, so in this table you can see all these subjects that are that will be present in this exam. And for each subject there is section A and section B. So this is common for all the 4 different subjects. Okay, these two together, obviously biology. Then number of questions 35, 15. Now why it is written like this, that is 35 plus 15, because these two type of questions, first 35 they will be in section A, and the second part, that is 15 questions, that will be in section B, and that is true for all the 4 subjects. Okay, and 140 marks, that is for these 35, whether it is chemistry, physics, botany, geology, and 40, that is for this second part. Okay, so out of these 45 questions will be physics, that is this 180 MCQs that is mentioned here. Out of this 180 MCQs, 45 will be from physics and chemistry each, same, and the remaining 90 that will be asked from biology. Now biology consists of botany and geology, but we will focus on chemistry. So if we focus on chemistry, though it is same for all, so in chemistry there will be section A and B, and in section A you will get 35 questions, and all these questions are basically compulsory. There will be 140 marks. So for each question it is basically 4 marks, so that is why maximum marks, suppose you have answered all these questions and all these are right, then you will get 1/4, that is the maximum marks possible. And in the section B there is total 15 question, as you have seen here, 35, 15. Okay, so in the section B, that is for, this is A, this is B, out of 15 only 10 is to be attempted, not all the 15 questions you have to answer, and maximum marks possible from this is 40, because for each question it is 4 marks. So 35 plus 10, there will be total 45, so that is why 180 marks. So marking scheme, considering the negative marking also, it is +4 for all right answer. Okay, and if there is any wrong answer, there will be negative marking, and the negative marking is -1. So don't forget this marking scheme. Now suppose in section B, though it is mentioned that only 10 has to be attended, but if by mistake if a candidate is attempted more than 10, then what will happen? Only the first 10 questions will be considered. Suppose someone is attempted 12 question or 13 question, or suppose 15 question, then first 10 will be considered, not the rest of it. So be careful, you have to answer only 10 questions. Now once the answers are marked on the NEET OMR sheet, that cannot be changed, because in the OMR sheet you have to mark it like this, that is you have to solidify it. So as you are doing it with pen, so you cannot change it. Unlike online exam where we can change it, in the OMR sheet you cannot change it. So when you are selecting the answer, you have to be careful, as you cannot change it. Now in this slide, you will be able to see some sample question from section A and section B. So from section A, we know there is total 35 questions, and all these questions are compulsory. Now, is there any difference between section A and section B? That question may arise in your mind. So that is why if you look at this sample question, so section A where 35 questions will be there, these questions are actually less tricky, or sometimes less lengthy or less time consuming compared to section B. Okay, so here you can see a list 1, list 2, that is we have to match items from list 1 and from list 2, and then we have to choose the correct answer. Okay, one more example from section A also you can see here. We have to find the organic compound where both nitrogen sulfur are present. So some specifications are mentioned based on which we have to choose the correct answer. So this is comparatively straightforward. But if you look at question section from section B, now they are more tricky, or sometimes it may be more time consuming. That means it will be more lengthy. So here we have to find the coefficients A, B, C found to be in these two equations. No, sorry, not two equations. Basically, this is the left hand side, this is the right hand side. Now, once you have, so A, B, C, here also we have A, B, C. Once you have obtained these values, then you have to match with it. So the first digit that will be for A, then for B, then for C. So this is comparatively trickier if we compare with sample A. One more question for from sample B, where 10 questions out of 15 you have to answer. Not all the questions are compulsory. Identify the final product. So if you here identify the final product, First, you have to identify the product from the first step, then product from the second step, product from the third step, and then only you can understand the product from the last step. Directly, you cannot get the structure of D. Once you know A, B, C, then only that is step by step you have to move. So that is why I'm saying it is more trickier compared to section A questions, or it is more lengthy. Fine. So this is the difference between section A and section B. So section A comparatively simple. Now, if we talk about the syllabus, it is more or less same as JEE main syllabus. Some chapters are deleted in this year that you already know. So after deleting all these chapters, the rest of the chapters you can see here. Now, which are the chapters that you should give more preference? Here from inorganic chemistry, this is chapter where you can get many questions. This is very important. And from physical chemistry, equilibrium, thermodynamics, and from inorganic chemistry, sorry, it is actually here because molecular structure is also. So you should also give importance to this one. I'm not saying rest of the chapters are not important, but this is mainly important. Now the medium importance, medium weightage, if we consider, then you can choose this one, that is p block elements. Then we have solution, I'm using different color. Then oxygen based compounds, that is organic compounds, sorry, this one, oxygen organic compounds that are based on oxygen. That means I'm talking about alcohols, ether, aldehydes, carbonyl compounds, that is aldehyde ketones, carboxylic acid, etc. Fine. And then basic principles of organic chemistry. So these are the chapters that you can give importance. Fine. And the other chapters, I'm not at all saying that you should not read it. Obviously, this red one, that is more importance than the blue one, and rest of the chapters you can expect one or two one questions. Okay. Now preparation tips and tricks, that is the most important topic, that is a part of today's video. Make a timetable. So once as you have the examiners 5th May, so that is first week of May. So now we have still few months, February, March, April. So for revision purpose or for preparation purpose, the first thing that you have to do, you have to make a timetable, and the timetable should be such that you can follow. It is not that someone else is following some timetable, you have to follow the same. No, it is not that. And you should have your own timetable, and that based on your lifestyle or other things, home environment. Okay, so based on that you have to make a timetable which you can follow, because after all you have to maintain it. Make sure the timetable helps you to cover the entire NEET syllabus in time, and also sufficient days should be left for the revision purpose and the practice purpose. At least 1 month should be there. So 2 months you can consider for this preparation time, and 1 month there must be, that is 30 days must be left for revision purpose or practice purpose. And if you have already done that preparation, that is you have already covered the syllabus, and if you have started this revision or practice, then it is very good. Okay, now don't continue at a stretch study. You should take break at least 30 minutes after you have studied continuously for 2 to 3 hours. And even if it is not 30 minutes, it is more or less, I'm just giving a time so that you can understand what I'm actually trying to say, that you should give yourself some break. At a stretch, you should not study. Okay, more hours should be spent on chapters that may not be your strongest point. So there are several chapters, and maybe some chapters you are very good at, some chapters you are not very strong. So you have to find first what are the chapters on which you are not you don't feel very confident. That means they are not your strongest point. Okay, so that is why you have to give more time on those chapters. If especially those chapters are high weightage chapters, then you should give more time to it. Okay, then set smaller and more attainable goals. So what I mean by this, suppose you are finishing a small unit in an hour. So that is just to increase your confidence level. So if you first choose very detailed or very hard topic, suppose thermodynamics, you are starting with thermodynamics, it may not be easier for you. If you are comfortable, it is fine. But if you are at initial stage, you want to start with something simple, it is better because you can finish it early and it will boost your confidence. Okay, so you can finish a small unit. You can choose with a unit which you can finish in under less than 1 hour. Okay, so this is the meaning of what I'm trying to say. Set smaller and more attainable goals, because more you will fulfill your goals, more you will get more confidence. Then once you have made the timetable, then you have to uh, do this study plan. Now study plan means self study, where you will be only studying this, not group study, only you will be there. So it will provide you deeper comprehension of the material, and it will also raise some questions or doubts while you are actually doing this self study. So when you are reading a chapter, if some questions are arising in your mind, some doubts are arising in your mind, just makes in separate notebook, just collect all your doubts. If you just at the right, then if you want to search the answer or clear your doubts, I will suggest you don't do that, because it may delay the, suppose you have already started, you have already decided to finish the chapter in 1 hour, but suppose some doubts are arising in your mind, and if you search solution for that, it can, that is, it can waste the time. So what I'm saying, whatever doubts or questions are arising, just make some note, so that once you have finished the chapters, then you can search for the answers or ask your teachers for the answers. Okay, so whatever doubts are coming in your mind, just make separate notes, and for that you keep a separate notebook also. Divide the chapters wisely when you are doing the study plan, and just for suggestion, you can study one easy chapter between two difficult ones. So suppose, as I have said, thermodynamics is very high weighted chapter, and basic principles of organic chemistry, that is also high weightage. So these two are very important, and they are also lengthy chapters. So if you read this type of chapters one after one, then it's not very good idea. So you can choose one easy chapter between two lengthy chapters or two difficult ones. So you can consider, for example, periodic table chapters in between these two lengthy chapters. So it will be better for you. Okay, so that is why I'm saying divide the chapters wisely. You can also finish most important topics first and then proceed to the other. Another way that you can follow. So these are several, I'm just giving you different types of suggestions. It may not match with your taste or under what stage you are writing. It may be that you are at initial stage or you have already completed everything. So depending on that, you can choose whatever I'm giving, suggestions I'm giving. So you can also finish the most important topic first, that is high weightage chapter first, and then you can proceed to the others if you have already covered the chapters. But you have not already covered, then you can keep one easy chapter between two difficult ones. Once you have finished the chapters, the next thing that you have to do, you have to practice some test question, not necessarily previous year question. You can start with some NCERT questions or some simple questions that is having the same style of question that we get in actual exam. So you can practice some test questions, and if you have already practiced some test question, directly you can go for previous year question. But you should do that at the same day. That is, suppose you have finished the chapters and then you are practicing question from that chapter after a few days, then it is not very good idea. So better sooner you can practice the test question. Once you have finished the chapter, it is better. Make notes. That once you have finished the chapters, you can make notes in your own words. Or obviously you have some notes, but when you make notes in your own words, it may be that it will be in reduced form. Whatever you have finished, it will be in the reduced form, in point form, in tabular form, once you have finished the chapters. And because why it is not just important that just before the exam you can have a look in your own notes rather than going through the chapters in the book, because that is detail. But your note that you have made yourself, why it is important? Because first of all, you have made it, you know everything about it, you also have given more importance to that part where you are comparatively weak. So that is why making notes in your own words is important. It will help you in a final revision just before 2 to 3 days before the exam. This is the first importance. And the second importance is, once you have finished the chapter, writing once rather than reading several times is always better, because when you are writing something, you are seeing that there is some impression in your brain. It will help you to comprehend the chapter better. So that is why I'm saying writing at least once, it is better than reading several times. So this is the second importance if you make your own notes. You can write down all the shortcut approaches and formulas, especially in physical chemistry, in a separate notebook, so that for each chapter, suppose chapter 1's particular thermodynamics, you are making some formulas. Then for another chapter, solution chapter, you are again making some shortcut approaches or formulas. It not necessarily it has to, you have to follow a particular formula. Just make your own way, whatever you feel that by following it you can solve question with less time. So that should be based, that is, keeping that in mind, write down all these shortcut approaches or formulas for each chapter separately. Fine. Now for formula based and numerical questions, which you will get mostly from physical chemistry, also sometimes from organic and inorganic chemistry. But for formula based and numerical questions, you require a lot of written practice. Numerical question without reading written practice does not matter. Okay, it has no significance. For other chapters which are not formula based, if you are seeing any previous year question, you can think about it. But for formula based, the better if you write it. That is the only there is no other way. It is the only way to handle this type of questions. Now for reference book, you should choose it intelligently. Though market offers several reference book to prepare for such difficult ones, but still you should choose it wisely. If you are very not sure, you can start with the simple NCERT book for for those who are at the initial stages. For beginners, it is very good book. Okay. Do not waste time in search of books or study material. You should choose wisely by seeking guidance from the teachers or seniors who have already cracked the exam, or those person who have already have some idea about this exam. They can always suggest you better books. Okay. So though books are important, but remember, emphasis should always be on the in-depth knowledge of on a concept. So it is not that you have chosen a particular book, then only you can crack the exam. If you are not choosing that book, you will not be able to crack. Though it is not like that. Emphasis should be on the in-depth knowledge. It is not that you are simply remembering something, simply mugging up something. That will not help you. If your basic knowledge is not clear, because the questions are designed in such a way, it will always test your basic knowledge, in-depth knowledge. Fine. That is more important. Be aware and curious when you are learning. Now, obviously, there will be some doubts, as I have mentioned in the previous slide. So, all the doubts or questions that are arising when you are studying a particular chapter, make separate notes for them. And once you are done with the chapters, don't hesitate to ask your teachers or peers those questions where you are stuck on an issue, and get your doubts addressed. If it is not clear, if anything seems still difficult, even after getting the answer, you should ask again and again. Don't hesitate. Ultimately, it will help you. So in this way, what will happen, you can broaden your expertise, because when you are discussing something with your teachers or peers, you can also broaden your expertise, because when discussing something, some other points may come in the picture, and that is why you can broaden your expertise and solve comparable complex challenges. Sometimes the problem on which you are stuck, if you know after discussion with your teachers, proper idea now if you have, it will also help you to answer comparable challenges, because it is not that always you will get the same question, but same difficulty level question or same pattern question you can get. So that is why you should always ask question when you don't feel shy. Remember that focusing solely on mugging up concepts, suppose you are simply remembering all the concept without having any crystal clear knowledge, that will obviously not help you to crack the exam. That is rather than finishing, I will suggest rather than finishing all the chapters. It is better if you can finish less number of chapters, but your in-depth knowledge is good. It is always better. That is, I am giving more importance to quality rather than quantity. Fine. Now, once you are done with all this, you have done all the chapters completion. Next thing that you have to do, and also even you have practiced some questions. Now it's time for solving PYQs and obviously mock test. So once revision is done, you have to practice these PYQs obviously with answer key, and there are sample papers or mock test available for this exam. And why it is important? Because how the questions are in the actual real exam, and you will also have the practice to finish all those questions in time. That is the purpose of mock test. That is same time pattern will be there, everything will be same, only that it is not the real exam. Otherwise everything is same. That is why it is mock test, right? So it is important because you will have some previous idea how to deal with those questions in the actual on the actual exam day. And also solving this question, it will increase your speed and accuracy, because now you will have the idea that this type of question you need how much time, or another type of question how much time you need, maybe for a particular type of question. Suppose assertion reason, there is one assertion reason type of question, or there is a list one list two match type of question. So maybe for a particular type of question you need more time, or there may be some strong point, there may be some weak point. So how you will discover all these things about yourself? It is possible only when you are solving PYQs. Then only you will be able to understand your weak points and strong points, where you actually have to improve. Furthermore, such test papers will give you vision into the type of question that may appear in the exam, and also the difficulty level of question. You will also be able to understand the difference between section A and B. And if you have any weak points, it will also help you to identify, because if you are not solving, how you will know where you actually have to improve? Once you know your weak points, then you can again brush up all those chapters again. Now revise as much as you can, because basic ideas must be crystal clear when you are solving the PYQs. And if you are able to solve PYQs, that is very good. But if you are not, then you have to revise your weak chapters. As the syllabus is extensive, you will require comprehensive revision to get confidence in each concept. Regular revision will improve your knowledge, also the retention. It is not that you have read something and after some days you are forgetting. So there it should be retained. So that is why regular revision is important. And sometimes what happens when you are reading the chapter first time, suppose it is okay, but second times another new doubt may come. Third time another type of doubt may come. I'm just saying it is not necessary, it will happen. But more you will revise, gradually you will see, you will be able to understand the changes. That is the difference between when you are first time reading the chapters and you are second or third time reading the chapters. Avoid procrastination, because ultimately it will not help you in the long term, right? That you already know. It is just a reminder. Keep positive mindset. That is the most important thing. It is, I know that it's sometimes difficult to maintain a positive mindset during this preparation process, because sometimes there may be some fall or doubt arising, and if you are then you can get stress, you can have stress, but that will not help you. If there is some fall or doubts arising, that is actually very natural. It is the sign that you are actually trying to understand the subject. So that is why there is some doubt. So don't panic. Keep positive mindset. Just make your doubts separately. Make a list of your doubts, and then you can answer all those doubts to your peers or teachers, right? So there's nothing to get negative. No matter how overwhelming the preparation phase, it is common for all, and you should never lose trust in yourself. Self-confidence very important. Once you identify your area of weakness and also the areas of your strength, you can work accordingly. Keep checking whether you are improving all those weak areas. Suppose you have already found your weak areas and you have to revise those chapters more. And you have to always also check, are you improving? Suppose previously during solving mock test or any practice test, you are not able to answer, and now after focusing on the weak areas you are able to answer. So that means you are improving, and that is very good. Maintaining all this will enhance your confidence, and that will ultimately lead to good results. Fine. So the last point is very important. Keep positive mindset. Now the actual things that you have to keep in mind for the real exam day. Suppose some chapters you are not able to finish, don't start any new topic on the day or the previous 2 to 3 days before, because that will just increase your stress. It is always better to have quality, even if it is less number of chapters. If you obviously you should focus on finishing all, but suppose in case if you are not able to do so, you should not start any new topic. That will unnecessarily increase your stress. You will not be able to remember, and whatever you have read earlier, that it will affect those preparation also. Only revise the essential topics according to the syllabus. If you have, that is not a few days left and you have not able to do the preparation properly, then only focus on the high weightage chapters, but don't start any new topic. Avoid studying for lengthy period or the exam day or the day before exam day. That should not be done, because you should give rest to yourself, because you have taken preparation for 3 to 4 months, and now just before 2 to 3 one day before, you need rest. You have to give rest to your brain, then only it can work better on the actual exam day. Don't get stressed. Eat well and healthily, and sleep is very important, because rest, your brain need rest before the actual exam day. Candidates should reach the examination hall. Try to reach early, at least 45 minutes, 1 hour better. Then aspirants should remember to carry their ID proofs, admit card, as these are the important documents, and you will not be allowed without all these. Admit card, there will be some important informations, instructions, and read that carefully. Be cautious about the objects that you will bring with yourself. And there are some objects that are not allowed, and obviously you know that, but still here I have mentioned all these things. So there will be strict checking, so don't do this mistake. And it is my suggestion that if it is possible that you can visit the exam center, especially if it is far from your home. And if it is very far, I will suggest that you can also book hotel, so that you can, there will be no hurry, and in the transportation also there will not be any problem. And if it is near to your home, you can visit the exam center and check how long it is actually taking, so that at the actual exam day, there is no such issues. Now, the things that you should keep in mind when that is in the exam hall. Once you have reached the exam hall, you should maintain positive attitude and remain calm. There will be some chaos going on. It is true. There will be so many candidates just like you, but you have to keep calm. Verify all the information on the attendance sheet is correct, because if there is some mistake, your whole effort will be disturbed. Okay. All the signatures are made in the proper designation column or place. Though instructions are always same, but still if there is some changes in the last minute, then that is why I'm saying you should read the instructions and signatures, whether it is done at proper places or not. Please check it. Don't be distracted by the exam hall environment before exam start. It happens with most of the students, but talk less and don't discuss with other students so much. Just concentrate on yourself. Fine. So these are the instructions that once you enter the exam hall, you should keep it in mind. Now, once the exam is starting, if we talk something about the time management, once you have obtained the OMR form, suppose still the time is not started, once you have obtained the OMR form, you should read the instructions. Though instructions are common, there is if there is any last minute change, so that is why, though you know this, but still you should read the instruction, and you will be given separate time for that. So read the instructions before starting to fill it out, because once without instruction, if you have filled something, if there is some wrong, there will be problem, and unnecessarily it will create some tension. So though you know, still you should read the instruction. Don't haste while reading the exam instructions, because that ultimately will not help you. And also, that is regarding apart from these instructions, that is how to fill this OMR, there will be some instruction on the question paper, and also for each question there will be some instruction that also should be followed, because instructions are given for a reason. It is not just unnecessarily given, so there must be some reason. So that is why you should read it. And you can have a quick look at the whole paper so that you can have some idea about the difficulty level. And as there is time restriction, don't stick to single question. Suppose if you are thinking that you can do it, but still it is taking time, and that is time is taking, so you have to be careful. If it is taking more time, just leave it and go to the next question. If only answer those where you are confident, and that is a simple question you can start with. And if you are thinking something is difficult, just leave it, you can come back again, right? Because once the OMR sheet is full, you have filled, you cannot change it. And make no wild choice, because you know there is negative marking. And then we have this OMR sheet sample paper. As you can see, candidate's name, it will have to fill according here. All of you know this, but still I'm saying that how wrong markings are done. Suppose if you are making this type of marks, or this type of marks, or if you are not filling properly like this, so all these are basically wrong. Or if you are feeling like all these are wrong, there should not be any vacant. It should be clear and completely you should mark it like this. Then only it will be treated as answer. And if as you can see, there is physics, chemistry, under biology, botany and geology, it is starting from 1, and then not the whole paper is there because of space problem. But then chemistry is starting from 46, so it will look something like this. There is central code, there is roll number, and don't encircle two dots together, because that will be cancelled. Suppose there are total 4, and if you should select only one. Suppose by mistake if you have marked both of them, then you will not be given credit. Even if you have selected one that is correct, one is chosen, but still this is not a correct. Only one should be marked. Okay. So that's all for this video. At last, I wish you good luck for your exam. Thank you for your time.